come to service from the food. The full range of the Holy Ghost, then it is just an experience. What is Ved has said, Vita, that you know on your central nervous system that something is happening. But that's just the beginning. It's just started, that you have started feeling it around you, around your head, and then unless you develop a greater sensitivity of understanding how it works, how we have to maneuver it, how we have to work it out on ourselves and on others, the deeper movement is extremely essential. Now there are people here who are very deep, extremely deep. There are people who are just joint sensitive. So I'll try to make it easier for all of you to understand that this is just knowledge of the ultimate knowledge is the knowledge which is academic, Shabdajala, and all these things are. But this is the knowledge where you go deep into your roots. And for that you have to become a secular being. Unless and until you become a secular being, you cannot do it. Now if your attention is so diverted outside things, and you are so much worried about things outside, so-called worries, how to take your attention inside? And those who are more involved are rather difficult. But some of them who are very much more involved are the easiest because they are fed up. They are tired. They want to stop. They think that it's time. They should take some of it. And that culture is easier. So most of the Western people are from that lot where they got just fed up. While the Eastern people also, who have the traditional understanding that the only thing that is going to help us is the manifestation of the Spirit within us. Also, they try to see, they try to find out, through reading, through doing all kinds of other things. But the only way it can work out is the ascent of the Kundalini. It's a living process of the ascent of the Kundalini. Like a sprouting of the seed is done only by one. If you give a lecture to the seed, if you stand on top of your head, it's not going to sprout. It's the Mother Earth has the capacity to sprout it, and that's what one should see. In the seeking, people get misled. Sometimes they feel that we have to seek the peace. Sometimes they feel they have to seek. Sometimes they think that it should give you money. It should give you other things that we think important. Or some people say that, so I have to have a promotion in life, or say I have to have a job, and all sorts of things people come for, good health, all sorts of things people ask for. So, as Krishna has said, whatever is your arthas, kamarthis or anyway, it can be fulfilled. But the first thing is, for anything, you have to enter into the kingdom of God. Supposing I am a member of, or I am the citizen of India, then I am entitled to all the privileges of an Indian citizen. In the same way, when you become the citizen of God's kingdom, then only you are entitled to this. That's why Krishna has said that yoga kshema vaham. First yoga and then kshema. Now here where our country has failed completely, that we do not understand that our heritage is this, that we have to have our self-realization. This is what we have to have, all of us. As Indians, all our traditional behavior has been towards that. If you read any saint anywhere, you will be surprised that they all were realized souls. They had no problems. They were not not being told, don't do this, don't do that. Whatever they did was absolutely correct. You didn't have to tell them, don't take this temptation, don't serve here, or don't behave in this manner. Whatever they did was absolutely correct, one with God. Why? Because they are one with their spirit which guided. So this is what is our heritage as Indians. And we have the knowledge of those roots in our country. The Western people have to learn from us. They don't have this knowledge. While our people who are educated or so-called intellectuals, you see, they are trying to follow the Western people. Now what have the West got? You just see the complete picture of the West, because I've lived there, I know what it is. It's nothing but they are going steadily towards a shock of distance. Absolutely. One must understand, despite the fact they have been telling a story that they are very affluent, is that. What is, there is no sense of chastity. They have no sense of chastity. They have lost completely the sense of chastity. The women are just glamorous, nonsensical things. There is no sense of tradition. They have, the quality of human beings is wretched, absolutely wretched. They might be affluent, agree. They might be people who might be doing well as far as the outside is concerned. But the tree that overgrows so much that it loses its relationship with the roots is going to be destroyed. And that's what I can see clearly what's happening in the West. If you go and study the young people in the West, you see, who are just disgusted and frustrated with the kind of a development they have had. They are saying that we are just trying to find a way and method how to commit suicide. They are all thinking, you say, books and books written, how to commit suicide, which is the best way to commit suicide, which are the best spots to commit suicide. So you can imagine where their mind is going after all this affluence and everything. Now we are the one who can provide solution for the emancipation of the humanity. But while we, one side we are trying to follow these people into the disaster where they are, the other side we are trying to talk of idealism. It's not talk of idealism or ritualism or of big shastras, but it is getting to it, what we call the Krita. Now the Kali Yuga is ending up. Actually, Krita Yuga has already evolved through it, where this all-pervading power that you feel is activated, is active and is working out. And it is such a wonderful thing to see how it works. It works in every walk of life, in everything that you do, and it is for you to see how it works. But first of all, you should be solid members of the citizen of God. Otherwise, if you are not that, you are nothing. You will have no blessing, nothing. You will be always in a mess, and then you will say, Mother, we came to you, we got realization, still nothing is happening. How far have you gone? Have you established yourself as Sahajogis? Have you really established yourself, or you are just having a little sort of a pastime with Sahaja Yoga? You cannot. You have to take it up seriously and work it out. Then you will be amazed the amount of miraculous life, the fantastic life, the all powerful life you will enjoy, and the righteousness and the virtuousness that is within you will glorify you. It will never make you depressed or disgusted, but it will glorify you, and you will find the whole thing such a meaningful thing. Actually, this is the greatest swartha. Swa-artha means where you find the meaning of swa. But if our brains are filled with the idea of so-called development, so-called this and so-called that, then it is better that people should go and see the developed countries and learn from them what they have got. But if you just go to the cities, you won't find. You'll be quite surprised the way they have much more cars going like this, making much more noise than they are doing here. And you can be very much surprised the way they are developed. But the way they are developed, they have become absolutely, there's nothing inside, it's hollowness inside, absolutely. Now yesterday as I was telling them, the reason why the Western society has gone that far is because their accent is on individuality. Everybody is an individual. See, even a garbage cleaner will argue out with somebody. It's everybody is an individual. What's wrong? What's wrong is their mantra. And everybody is an individual, you see, growing. But they don't bother about the maturity. That's what I said, that a tree must have a proper maturity to bear, first of all, the flowers and then the fruits. And when the fruit ripens, then only it becomes an individual in the nature. But while here a little child becomes an individual, starts going on an individualistic life. So this is the reason why they are so abandoned. And people are amok. If you go in England, I tell you, you can't walk alone anywhere. You'll be somebody will take away your purse, they'll take away your bangles. You can't walk. You have to go in the car. Of course, in New York, you can't do it at all. If you go to Russia, you'll be amazed. People just look as if their eyes are popping out with fear. So it is only out of fear. If somebody is good, it is not goodness. Neither because they are abandoned and this thing they think they have achieved something, it's not also goodness. So it is both ways. I think both the people who experimented with so-called abandonment and fear have failed completely in their achievements. As Indians, I think it is our duty to see that what we can really substantially give to the whole world is this, not other things that we are thinking about, is the quality of life within, and that we have, and we should be able to imbibe those things into those people, because they are the people who have advanced, all right, but what they need is the source of joy, the source of peace, and the source of knowledge. And the knowledge is not what the brain tells you. It's not. It's a limited knowledge here. It's all avidya. Surdas, after writing Sursagar, says, Surdas ki sabhi avidya dura karo nadala. This is all avidya. Vidya is only one where you know God's laws. When you actually become the absolute and you know His laws, how they work, and you know the methods by which to work it out, is the Shuddha Vidya. If you do not have the Shuddha Vidya, all other Vidyas are there. We can show you by example how it works. I mean, it's something people can't believe. But I'll give you an example now. Recently I was traveling in Maharashtra and the belt of the car broke. So the gentleman said, now we can't move because there's no belt. I said, just you start the car, let it go. And we went like this for 18 miles. And after 18 miles, he saw one, some sort of a garage or something where he went in. So the garage fellow said, how have you been driving? We can't believe it. But we moved very well, climbed up a ghat and reached the place all right. So even in the matter, you can work out these vibrations, the power of God. As you know, that in every atom there are vibrations which can be controlled if you know how to control yourself with it. If you cannot control yourself, you cannot control anything. And this happens, I mean, so many things have happened. Warren can tell you that when he went from India, there was a strike and no petrol was available. And it so happened that he wanted to do my work there. And he said, now mother, what to do? We have no petrol. Very little petrol was there. And he says that 21 days, the strike was on, he used the car and he went to the petrol pump. The petrol pump said that, why do you want petrol? It's all full. All these things can happen, no doubt about it. All miraculous things can happen, but the greatest of greatest miracle is this, that a man becomes transformed. A man gets a transformation. The Kundalini transforms him completely. This is the biggest thing that can happen, that people become self-realized, means they become saints. So they cannot do anything wrong. They become people who become one with the divine. They start using the divine power, understanding it. And for the first time now, we can balance the ecological imbalance by giving back what we have taken out of this Mother Earth, from the sky, everything, we can give it back. And this is what we have experimented, and it is working wonders in so many universities. We are trying with the agricultural university also. But we must open our eyes to this thing. We should not be so much scientifically awed or hypnotized that we cannot see to the truth that can be underlying. So many things cannot be answered by science. The other day I met one of my class fellow in the medical college, and as I used to be quite a good student, you see, he was surprised that I gave up medical studies. Then I told him what I was doing. He was so happy. He said, I would like to join this and I would like to find out, because he is a man who is very anxious. He says that there are so many things which are not answered in the medical science, like the parasympathetic. And because we were medical students, I could talk to him about so many things. And he was really amazed. He said, if the medical people could get rid of their so-called intellectual rationing for 5 minutes, they can see there's something much more existing. And from that level, when you handle situations, then you'll be surprised. Every sort of political, economic, every situation can be handled from that, because you become collectively conscious. At the end, I would say what great poet Jnaneshwara has said of today is, he calls that Pasayada. Pasai is this one, when you will get the milk of human kindness flowing. That's Pasayada. It's a wonderful poetry, but in that he says that at that time when it will happen, whatever you will desire, that you will get the realized soul. And that he said that it will be one with the Brahma, which is surrounded. You will become, so many will become one with the Brahma, is the all-pervading God. But the biggest thing that he said, describing the Sahaj Yogis or the yogis in such a way, he said that Sala Kalpatarun se Arava, meaning they will become Kalpatarus. I hope you understand the meaning of Kalpataru. Arava means forest. There will be forest of Kalpataru. Even ordinary people who are supposed to be not so good for other worldly things have all the extraordinary so much beautifully preserved in them, while we completely exhaust the extraordinary and we become really ordinary. And that's what it is. He says, Sala Kalpatarun se Arava, so that you become the trees of Kalpa, means whatever you desire. And then the second one he says, Bolate Piyushan se Aranava, they will be the talking oceans, Arnava is oceans of Amruta, of Amrut. Imagine, that's what he is described. They will be like this. And you can see an ordinary, Sahaj Yogi, who is an ordinary person, is doing miracles, doing such wonderful things. There's a gentleman in Rahuri who is just an ordinary village man, and he's having his farmhouse, and he's the one who has transformed about 10,000 people. So a person can do a lot if he takes to Sahaj Yoga in a proper way and proper understanding. Thank you very much for all of you, and I would like to have some questions from you, and then we can have some dinner, because you all must be very hungry also. Some questions. Any questions?
Kundalini, what is understood by the word Kundalini, and what are the benefits of it?
I'm speaking on that tomorrow and day after, but I'll tell you in short what is Kundalini. It is a power within us in the triangular bone, which is the power of pure desire. As you know in economics, that in particular a want can be satiable, but in general it cannot be satiable. That means the want that you have or a desire you have for a particular thing, once you have it, then you don't feel satisfied. You want to have another, you want to have another. So the desire you had was not a pure desire. If it was a pure desire, then you would have been a satisfied person, but you are not. But when the Kundalini rises, then you feel absolutely satisfied. Of course, some people go up and down, but some of them just shoot off and become that in such a manner that they don't need anything. They are so happy and they think now we have to give. Now these things when happen, that shows that this power is the power that we have been desiring for. And this power is the one that makes you one with the divine. Now, what is the benefit? Of course, we should think that first of all, it is the epitome of our evolution. We are human beings. We are in human awareness. All right. Now, see a dog. If you ask a dog to pass through a dirty lane, he can pass. A horse can pass through, but a human being cannot. He cannot bear the smell of that place. Now, when you become a realized soul, the dharma, your valencies, which are 10, which we call as dharma, gets awakened within you. Then we don't have to tell you. You just become a righteous person, a virtuous person. Absolutely. You see, all your problems can be solved. A person becomes virtuous, finished. Just automatically he becomes virtuous. He drops all his bad habits. 99%. I would say 1% may just go up and down. But some people do, especially with the villagers, because they have their extraordinary thing quite intact, while we have wasted ourselves quite a lot. So we just go up and down. But these people, now in the villages, you will be surprised, there are, I don't know how many thousands who have given up all their bad habits. Thousands of them have given up bad habits. So what happens, that when this thing takes place, first of all, your dharma is established. Of course, because parasympathetic is under your control, your health improves. Cancer, all these diseases get cured. Automatically you don't have to worry about it. But if the Kundalini is not awakened, but somebody who has got the Kundalini awakened can just cure that person. It's not difficult. Now, like this lady who was sitting in the program yesterday, she was bedridden. Just listening to me, because yesterday I didn't give realization or anything. For half an hour I spoke and she felt so much better that she could come today. So it happens, one health, then mental health improves. Because people who are mentally disturbed, you see, mad people, schizophrenic and all, this is a big problem in the West, also get completely cured. Apart from that, you feel extremely peaceful and you feel joyous and you become the witness of the whole play. You start seeing the whole play as a witness. Of course, externally your skin improves, your face improves, you lose about 10 years of age at least minimum. Like that it works out. But that's just a byproduct. All these are byproducts. The main thing is that you become collectively conscious. You become. That means you can know what's wrong with another person on his centers, and you can also know what's wrong with you. So you start cleansing yourself if you know the method how to cleanse yourself. But the problem is that when the light comes into you, the people do not accept it that way and they don't try to cleanse themselves. If they try, they can do it and they can be very well fast there where one has to reach. But you have to little bit cooperate and work it out, raising of your Kundalini, cleansing yourself. There are so many advantages of that it is impossible to describe in this little lecture. But I mean, most of our problems can be solved by raising your Kundalini and getting yourself realized.
How many people who have come in touch with you past years
With what?
attained whose Kundalini have risen, who have been able to get rid of desire?
See, there are thousands and thousands. I have not made a list. I am not interested in that way. See, it is their own luck if they come and get it. It's not me to go on counting them, how many there. I have not kept a file or anything. You see, it's like a river flowing. Those Ganges doesn't sit down and write how many come and take bath in her, do they? In the same way, I don't write. I have no idea. If you even ask me how many centers there are in Delhi, I would not. I don't know how many centers there are in Australia. I don't know. How many countries? I have no idea. So for this, you should consult some other people. I have no idea of numbering. That's not the attitude at all. But what is the need? What is the need?
No, my question is, has anybody been able to get rid of the desire?
Yes. Desire doesn't mean that.
Yogi is one of them, his brother.
You see, the desire comes one with God. You start feeling that you must achieve God. Your so-called desires melt into one desire. Alright? All of them have got that desire now.
How do you explain the phenomena of supernatural or miracles on scientific basis?
How do you explain the phenomena of supernatural and miracle on scientific basis?
How can you blame?
Now, how can you explain the supernatural and the miracle on scientific basis?
Of course you can. It is very simple. I'm not talking of supernatural because it's a very funny word, you know. Supernatural means all Bhuta Vidya, Preta Vidya, Smashana Vidya. I'm not meaning that. But the spirit. You see, it is very simple to understand. That, you see, you have got parasympathetic nervous system within you. Are you a medical student? No. Then I can't explain, I'm sorry. But if you are a medical student, I would have told you very simply that whatever you do medically, you see, is just outside. You are treating the leaves, but not the roots, while we are treating the roots. And the connection can be established. If you were a medical student, I would have explained better.
No, but you were just talking about the matter. I mean, like, you know, the miracles happen with the matter, like the car went, or even, the standard broken and all that. So how do you explain it scientifically?
You had given an example that in Maharashtra, when you were in a car, the fan belt broke and the car kept moving. How would you explain that?
You see, you cannot bring the ocean in a cup, can you? No. So science is just a little wee bit. You see, science just deals with one type of a power, which is on the right hand side, is just the power of the 5 elements. That's all. It doesn't deal with your mind. In the sense, it doesn't deal with the emotional side. Now, can you explain love with science? Can you explain? That's what I'm saying. So, you see, science is just a wee bit of it. It is an integrated power of emotions, emotional, or you can say the power of desire, the power of action, the power of evolution, and ultimately the power divine. So, you see, how to explain it in scientific terminology? You cannot. Science is something very little. It cannot explain it. It is not possible because it analyzes. Science goes on analyzing. You see, you will have one doctor for one eye, another doctor for another eye. But this does not analyze, this synthesizes. You cannot synthesize with science. That's why. You cannot explain, but it works out. You can see for yourself. But I know how it works out. You see, you can control. If you know how to control the elements, you can work it out. But scientific people do not know how to control the element. They can only use it. But they don't know how to control the elements. But supposing by chance, if you know how to control the elements, you can work it out. All right? How are you, David? All right? Now you may say that how to control our journalists. You cannot. See? It's impossible. They are off their heads. What can you control? Journalists. But you can transform them if they accept. But they are off their heads. You cannot tell them. You see, they have to ask for it. You cannot force a yoga on them. Or you say how to control our politics. You cannot. Politicians are politicians. It's just off their heads. You just can't control them. Or the government servants. You just can't control them. They are one-track people. You just can't control them. You just can't do anything about them. Because they cannot stop. You see, they're just moving speed-wise that side. They won't look here and there. They're just moving this way. But if they can stop for a while, then you can manage them. And the businessmen too. They all have one-track mind. It is a thing where you reach to the point from where you see all the tracks. It's an integration of all. But you can control matter. You can. But not human beings because they have freedom. If they want, they can go to hell also. If they want, they can go to God. It is their choice. You cannot force them. That freedom has to be respected. Freedom has to be respected because if you have to go to the higher freedom, your freedom has to be respected. You cannot force it on anyone. Not at all. You have to ask for it. And ask for it and ask for it. Otherwise it doesn't work out. It's like any vidya. You cannot go and no professor will come and catch hold of your neck and say that you better study. A father and mother may do it at an early stage, but a professor won't do that. Any other question? अब आपका हाल ठीक है? वाइब्रेशंस आ रहे हैं? आ रहे हैं ना? चलो ठीक है, फिर आ रहे तो आते रहेंगे। अब ये नहीं घबराना कि आगे बंद हो जाए। अब ठीक है, आप ठीक लग रहे हैं। एक बार शुरू हो गया तो उसको ज़रा शुरू रखना चाहिए, बस फिर आते ही रहेंगे। आप इसकी परेशानी क्यों उठा रहे हैं? आगे की बात सोचो ही नहीं। हाँ,
At our level of human understanding, is it possible for us to understand why was this world created?
I think you leave it to God. That is His whim. You see, He is above us, and we cannot ask questions to Him. It is His whim. He wanted to create. He's created. He created it to create you people, to see His own image in you. He wanted to have His own children enter into His kingdom. That was His sweet desire. Any father has the same desire, that he creates the kingdom for his own children and he wants them to enjoy. Now you won't go and ask your father, why did you create us? He just wants you to enjoy His blessings, all His powers. और कुछ सवाल पूछिए, इनको कुछ पूछना है? क्या कह रहे हैं? क्या बेटे?
Does Sage Yoga believe in theory of karma?
What is it?
Does Sage Yoga believe in theory of karma?
Yes, but karmas act in your ego because you are egoistical. That's why you feel that you have done karmas. But once the ego disappears, there is no karma. It's Shakti. When the Agya Chakra is enlightened, then your karmas and your conditionings both are Shakti. That's how it opens out here. Then you are no more there, you go into a karma.
Ego to sabhi hai.
Huh?
Even the yogis have ego. Even the yogis have ego.
They may have for the time being, but it disappears gradually. To begin with, they may feel it, but it disappears.
Even the people who are reached the highest still have the ego. Why?
Not. Have you met some?
I have not met any who has not got ego.
So that's how. You see, it is better to see for yourself. It is not a hearsay, but see how the ego disappears. You start seeing your own ego. You don't know, you start seeing it and people really are frightened. Like somebody came and asked me, Mother, you tell me if I was Napoleon in my last life. I said, what makes you think that? See, I am quite frightened at my ego, the way I have ego. And I am very good at drawings. So Napoleon was also very good at drawings and I have such a big ego, so I think I must be that. But he could see it. He starts seeing it. And now it is reducing. By fighting it, you cannot. Then your ego dissolves in the ego of God. Actually, He is the real person who has the real ego. He is the one who is the doer. Like a person now, I'll tell you an example, who is going by a plane. He is told that you should take less weight because the plane cannot carry too much weight. So he sits in the plane and puts the luggage on his head, you see, thinking I am carrying the. But when he realizes that it's the plane that's carrying me and my load, he drops it down. It's like that. Those who think they are, see, Giridhari ji is holding all the world's worries on their heads. You see, should know that even if they remove the finger, it will not fall on their heads.
Mataji, the point which I raised in the beginning, and I rephrase it now, is when in the original Hindu philosophy, it said that one should learn to live by the virtues prescribed in Vedas.
Yes.
That is a theory of dharma.
But the first verse of Vedas is that if you have not know the reality, if it is not Veda to you, the whole Vedas are useless. Whole thing is worked out only to know the reality. That point everybody misses. Without knowing yourself, you cannot know anything. That's the point this throughout. The whole Upanishads are that, but people miss it. You see, now like before coming to Delhi, if I start just imagining that I am in Delhi, I am going to Friends Colony, and I don't go, isn't it? In the imaginary world, no use running about, in the Shabda Jala. The person who really gave a proper shape to Hindu philosophy is Adi Shankaracharya. He is the one who said that this Shabda Jala must be given up. All the people talk so much, but nothing in their lives, no transformation, nothing. They get no powers, nothing. What's the use of just talking? Philosophy is not talking. It is something achieving to be. That's what is the real philosophy of Vedas. It's not just talking. Actually, nobody has right even to do Havana unless and until he is not a realized soul. All these Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, whatever is said, is all the 7 chakras. Nobody has right to touch that fire because you cannot enlighten the fire. When you get realization, you will be surprised, fire gets enlightened, and you put your hand towards the fire, you might get a black suit coming out of you. It's all artificial. Whatever people are doing are nothing but mental feats, you see, yarning and going mad. And all such people I've seen when they get old, they just talk and give headaches, that's all. There's nothing that happens to them. I've seen so many like that, mad. जिन्होंने गीता पढ़ी वो गीता ही बकते रहते हैं, जिन्होंने वेद पढ़ा वो वेद बकते रहते हैं. लोग घबरा जाते हैं उससे. और ऐसे लोग आपको फ्रांस में बहुत मिलेंगे, पागल. वो बोलते ही रहते हैं बुढ़ापे में. They'll sit in a bus, they are talking, they are getting down, they are talking. You ask them what's the problem, they have been to the wars. वही हाल हो जाता है इन लोगों का भी. मेंटल फील्स, जस्ट शब्द जालम. ना तो वो अपने को कुछ कंट्रोल कर पाते हैं, ना कुछ. इतने हॉट टेम्पर्ड होते हैं लोग. हाउ कैन दे बी सो हॉट टेम्पर्ड इफ दे आर रीडिंग गीता और इफ दे आर रीडिंग वेदास? एक्सट्रीमली हॉट टेम्पर्ड. और as far as we are concerned, I have seen such people give such heat, tremendous heat. And they get heart attacks, all kinds of problems, mad. They are really mad. In old age, if you sit next to them, you'll find, oh God. You sometimes start wondering why did they read Gita or Vedas. यही खोपड़ी में भरना था सुबह से शाम. They cannot smile, they cannot laugh, they are very serious people. The symptoms are like this, you see. There's one fellow I met, the one who is a great scholar in Vedas, Harish Chandra his name is. I tell you, if you can sit with him for half an hour, I can give you 100 rupees. You cannot. He'll just eat you off. There's nothing sense he talks, he just goes on jabbering. And he is hardly 60 years of age. If this is his case at 60 years, what will he be at 70 years? God alone knows. Absurd people. Very quarrelsome, fanatical. Khomeini style. Khomeini thinks he is the master of all the shastras, the Shariat. Now he's such a stupid fool, he doesn't understand that Shariat, you see, they don't even see the right thing. Like the Shariat was written by in the beginning of the 2nd chapter of the Bible, Shariat, that you should kill a person who behaves like that. Because when Moses came down, he found that the people were so corrupt and so much degraded that he started the Shariat. And he put down, this should be done, that should be. In the Bible it is. But the Christians don't follow it, the Muslims follow it. Imagine the stupidity of it. In the Quran there is no Shariat. Just imagine. All these horrible things of cutting hands, cutting neck and all that is in the Shariat, in the 2nd chapter of the Bible. That is the Torah. It's the Jews. You see, Jews started these 5 books. Injils as they call it. And the Jews should follow that. It's the Muslims who are following. Muhammad Sahib gave Quran Sharif. But they are following the Shariats of the second chapter of the Injil, as they call it, Torah. They call it Injil or Torah or Bible, according to the religion they follow. Because these 5 books are the basics. Then somebody took to Muhammad Sahib, somebody took to Jesus Christ, and somebody took to Moses. Shabda Jalam. Old age, it's dangerous with such people. Khomeini is 80 years, God save everyone. As they grow old, they become hotter and hotter, you know. Terrible people and hard-boiled eggs. Just can't touch them. Even if you have to wake them, you have to use a barge pole. Oh, the lumbering. That's all. बातों से नहीं होते, करने से होता है, बात नहीं है।
वो तो सहज योगा में भी करने से होगा।
करना ही पड़ेगा, मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी। बगैर जो मेहनत कर सकता है, रामदास स्वामी ने कहा ये रहा गबाड़ा से काम नोहे, ऐसे वैसे जिसको हम लोग लफंटू लोग कहते हैं उनका काम नहीं है, उसके लिए स्पेशल लोग चाहिए, वीरों का काम। ऐसे वैसे लोग नहीं कर सकते सहयोग। जो वाकई वीर होंगे वही सहयोग कर सकते हैं, ऐसे वैसे लोग कबस करें। बड़ी गहन चीज़ है, जड़ में घुसने की बात है। इस संसार में रहते हुए इसको पाना और उसको एस्टैब्लिश करना कोई सोपी चीज़ नहीं। वो करना ऐसा नहीं कि आप हिमालय में जाके बैठ गए दुनिया ड्रामा में, यहाँ दुनिया में रह कर ऐसे आसान चीज़ नहीं है। तांत्रिक के तो खिलाफ है सहयोग। तांत्रिक क्या है, आप हमारी किताब एडवेंट में लिखा हुआ आप पढ़िएगा। तांत्रिक क्या है, कैसे वो सहयोग के विरोध में बैठता। वैसे तो तंत्र हम ही जानते, तंत्र माने मैकेनिज्म वो हम जानते, लेकिन तांत्रिक जो है वो सबको उल्टा बिठा करके, सब देवी देवताओं को नाराज करके और वहाँ पर भूतों को बिठा। आप पढ़िएगा, तो बहुत अच्छा लिखा है। There's a very good chapter on तांत्रिक एडवेंट। अच्छा, ज़रा आप ध्यान दीजिए इधर और पढ़िए, देखिए। So is there any question from the Sahajogis?
Shri Mataji, should we use any techniques to try and train our attention?
Technique.
Techniques?
He's asking me a question. Should we use any technique to put our attention? Yes, there are many techniques, as you know, in Sahaja Yoga. As Namdev has said, that a boy is flying a kite in the sky and he's talking to everyone, he's listening to everyone, he's playing with his friends around, but his attention is on the kite. Try to put your attention to your spirit. Simple. In everything, if you try to just put your attention to your spirit, now you can do it because you have gone inside, your attention has gone inside. It will work. Just it's the vibrations. Now put not like this, like that. Your attention is much better, but they are all worried when they go back to these advertising companies, what will happen? Like their countries are real nothing but advertisement. This, that. Just see to the Mother Earth. To control your attention is the best, is to see the Mother Earth. Sahaja Yoga techniques are very simple, and spontaneous and living techniques. It is not something very difficult. So yeah?
How can we go deeper?
Huh?
How can we become deeper?
How can we become deeper?
देखिए इन लोग, इनके सवाल देखिए, क्योंकि ये घुस पड़े हैं ना, तो अब गहरे कैसे होते हैं। सवाल देखिए इनके कैसे चला है, ये अब डीपर कैसे जाए। You have so many ways of meditation now, which you should practice. Pay some attention to it, and you will be deeper. Because when you become thoughtless, your growth starts. Try to see things without thinking. You can do it now. Watch everything like a witness. The growth will start. As soon as you become a witness, the growth will start within. and you'll become deeper. इनके सवाल ही उल्टे हैं देखिए, क्योंकि मैंने कहा ना लेवल लेवल की बात हो जाती है कि नहीं? इनकी खोज है और ये इन्होंने पा लिया, पाने के बाद अब गहरे कैसे, गहराई कैसे? ठीक है आप?
On behalf of all the people present, I heartily thank Sri Mataji for blessing us and giving us this great discourse on our inner quest. She has said some very, very deep things today which has touched us very deeply, and we are very thankful for her for this very special privilege. My humble request to the guests who have come today is this, that they have witnessed and experienced a very momentous experience in their life today, this evening, and they should not waste it. This is something which has come to them as a great gift, and hope that they will follow it up. Sri Mataji is giving public meetings for the next 3 days in Mavalankar Auditorium, and they should all come and follow this up deeply and have its blessing. I thank Sri Mataji on behalf of all present.